All right, gentlemen and lady, we are back for our special Christmas episode.
I'm feeling really jolly already, honestly.
I am as well. For our YouTube watchers, you can see that we're all looking very festive this morning. So
Yeah, and we're actually recording in the morning and as opposed to at night, so we're not going to get
Somehow feels more Christmassy.
It does.
yeah, it
somehow.
does. Yeah, it does. Well, Christmas morning, recording in the morning. Yeah.
Well, hi, I'm Nick, and if Bing Crosby doesn't make it snow for you, you're doing Christmas wrong.
I'm Michael, and yes, Klaus is a perfect movie. I don't make the rules.
I'm Ben, and my intro is dumb, obvious, and pointless, but I hope you love it.
Trying out
Nice.
something different here.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to make a quick callback because I know that now finally you guys have watched the beginning of Stranger Things 5. How are we feeling about it?
You know, I have some mixed feelings. I really enjoyed it, and I was entertained by it. I do think there are some redundancies in the storytelling and some of the character arcs. Ben and I were having a conversation right before this about it, and I'm sure I get into more detail. But overall,
I don't know how deep we want to get into it.
Yeah,
I was
overall
gonna say,
positive. Overall
what's
positive.
Overall positive.
Overall
like,
positive.
So like a B. Like
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Same for
Yeah.
me.
Grade scale.
Overall, B
All right.
is a little. I told Michael I found it a little predictable. Like I think I know where they were going and where
Yeah.
they are going with it, but
I was
but it's still
amazed
enjoyable.
at how much of it like the fans seem to have gotten right in their predictions. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was just
seriously.
like things leaked, but it felt like a lot of what I had heard was predicted about this season ended up being the truth about it. So,
Yes. Yep.
that's interesting to see. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump over to our guest today. My lovely wife is here to talk Christmas movies with
Yay!
us. Tori, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit or say what you love about Christmas movies?
Oh gosh. Well, Nick already said my name. And gosh, I love Christmas movies. I'm not a big movie person. I usually fall asleep during every single movie, and Nick and I have very different tastes in movies. I mean,
Accurate.
gosh, we've been together what 13 years, over 13 years,
Wow.
and married for 10. And I mean, he tries to make me watch all types of weird stuff, and I usually fall
Unsuccessfully.
asleep. Or
Yeah.
now I'm like, no, like this is for you.
Well,
But
we gotta thank you for that a
Yes.
little bit because we would
Yes.
not have this podcast probably if you watched all this stuff and talked about all this stuff.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yes,
What would I
I
need
like.
Michael and Ben
Yeah,
for?
exactly.
Exactly.
That's what I said. He needs you guys to get all the things out. But I do watch Christmas movies, and I feel like I have good opinions on them. So
That's why I
Okay.
asked her to come. I know that she
I
does
enjoy
like
Christmas
some Christmas
movies.
So
like
think
I will
we'll have
make
some
it a
fun.
point to watch some like with family, with hot chocolate, and
Yeah, we've done a little bit with it so far this year. It's been fun, especially now that the kids are
but
getting
yeah, they're getting
a little
older,
bit older and they can appreciate a Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
that's
so
pretty cool.
It's getting more fun.
and
I
they can
think.
sit
Nice.
longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
we're going past Bluey episodes.
Yes.
Which is there a Bluey Christmas episode?
There are two, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
There's two. There's one at the Healer House, and there's one that takes place at
Uncle Stripes.
Uncle Stripes with the pool, the Christmas swim episode. Look
Oh,
at me,
nice.
see? Pulling out my knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Nice.
Well, Nick,
Well-
why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're gonna do this episode?
Sure, yeah. So kind of it's a little bit different format. We're not just talking about one Christmas movie, but instead we're going to be looking at 5 different Christmas movies that I'm going to call them. I mean, is it fair? Can we give it the GOAT status on these Christmas movies?
I
At
would
least
say
in
so.
my
At
opinion.
least
Well, I was gonna
objectively
say-
in this group, yes, absolutely.
Within this
Except
group.
for one, which we'll get to.
True.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We've got a listener poll that we got a favorite movie from just some different people that we asked, and we'll talk about that one as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I guess I can introduce the movies, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we've
Well,
already said it
Before,
once.
thank you all for voting on and commenting on our poll. So we really appreciate it. And if you don't follow us on social media, please do that. And you can stay up to
Absolutely.
date on what we are talking about, see clips, and
rate the show too. That's
Yeah.
always that's a big one. Not very many people do that, but that's a big way that people can find the show that have not discovered it yet. So let's talk. I'll introduce the 5 movies. So we're gonna start out with Klaus, which I know we all love, but that is Michael's movie that he picked. Then we're gonna go into Muppet Christmas Carol, which Ben picked. Then I picked White Christmas, and Tori picked Elf. And then our viewer pick, listener pick, was The Grinch. And I'm really excited to talk about The
And
Grinch, too.
I want to let the audience know we went through every single comment and tallied up the votes, or not the vote, the votes, the comments. And so we put it, it's not just that we picked one randomly that we want to talk about. You guys actually said The Grinch. So
it was close between that and It's a Wonderful Life.
That's the honorable mention. Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about I guess we never did our normal intro. We can do that. He's getting the music queued up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about some themes and stuff to do with these Christmas movies too. But hey, welcome to Fandom of Fandoms, the show where every single episode we are jumping into worlds that fans love. And this week we are talking, as I said earlier, Christmas movies, and it's going to be such a blast. So let's enjoy this, just this conversation and all these movies that we're going to get to talk about today. Well, our first question, I wanted to think, what makes a Christmas movie? Like, let's put some definition behind this. What are like the key ingredients of a Christmas movie?
Mm-hmm. So I think for me, hope is probably, if you kind of look at the greats, which again, we've chosen our own greats here. Hope seems to be like kind of at the center, one of the center themes of each one. And whether that's, something specific like a family relationship, finding hope in that, or if it's something broader, like maybe a kind of on a grander scale. I think for me, hope is like that's got to be a central theme, in any good Christmas movie.
Sure, yeah. I don't think you could have one without it, honestly. Like all the movies that I'm looking at that we've picked, for sure, central to it. There's no way that it exists without the hope aspect of it.
Yeah.
Ben, what about you? You got like any kind of key ingredient that comes to mind that specifically Christmas movies have to have?
Besides the hope, it's just gotta warm your heart. It's such we live here in Ohio where it's cold during Christmas, and so just something that just like brings you that joy and warmth that like you don't really get throughout the rest of the year. It's just it fills that Christmas, that holiday. I don't know. Je ne sais quoi.
I think for me, I'm going to go with maybe transformation a little bit.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Nice buzzword there, because hope, I think, transformation, the warmth, those are the key aspects when we're like, hey, let's mix this all together and see what pops out. And all of those things, I think, are present in the movies that we've chosen today. What about you, Tori? You got a favorite?
I mean, I would say... are you asking me like what?
Yeah, like key ingredients. Obviously the things that we've said, but is there anything else that you would throw in there as being a key ingredient for a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it kind of goes along with hope, but the meaning of Christmas.
Okay.
And, obviously, if you're looking at it, the Christian worldview, it focuses on Jesus. But even, all these movies, I would say, aren't targeted, faith-related movies. But... and I like it because it's never about, how many presents I have and stuff. It always centralizes around love and the people that you're with. So
yeah, that's good.
I appreciate that for sure. It kind of goes along with hope.
Yeah.
Well, why do you guys think that this genre kind of hits harder emotionally than maybe some other genres? Why like Christmas movies specifically?
I think there's a wide base. Like there's a lot of people that celebrate Christmas. Obviously, not everybody in the world, but like it's just such a wide audience base that many, many people over the course of the season are going to be watching Christmas movies for sure. And it's an all ages thing too, right? Kid to adult, all ages has a favorite Christmas movie, and that they enjoy for one reason or another. So that's my answer to that, is for sure like the overall large appeal of the movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think there's a lot of tradition around each and every one of these, and so like a lot of these that we've listed, I've grown up watching, and so except for maybe Klaus being the newest one, but all the other ones like. There's a lot of tradition around it, and they're like a yearly watch. There's family like memories built around them, those sorts of things. So like, I think that definitely adds to that like emotion.
Michael, you got anything else you want to throw out there? Or we kind of hit it. On
Yeah,
those.
no, I think you guys, I have nothing more to add. It was perfect what you guys said.
This might add to some debate, I think, this next question.
Yes.
Is there a difference, and I know our listeners are going to feel very passionate about this, between a movie that takes place at Christmas and a Christmas movie?
I could not think of one movie that fit that criteria.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's many.
But also, like I said, I do not have a wide movie base, but
There's a very famous one, maybe you don't know, Die Hard.
oh,
She knows because I watched it.
he tried to make me watch it.
Yeah.
I've seen some of it.
I will be on the con side or the negative side of that.
Okay.
And like I think that if you put Die Hard at any other office event, it could have still happened and could have still been like it functions just as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me is like if you take the Christmas out of it, is it still the same movie?
Okay.
And like
I heard someone arguing the other day that The Holiday is a Christmas movie. Have you guys heard that one?
I haven't watched it, so I'm
Yeah,
not
I
as
thought
familiar.
it was.
I mean,
See,
I
I
haven't
almost
seen it
think
in a long time.
I almost think it's the same. It's exactly what Ben just said. You could take the Christmas aspects out of it, and the story would remain the same story and the same narrative. So I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, and again, like another popular one is Harry Potter. Like for
Yep.
some reason that's a Christmas one, and like
Oh.
there's like one scene that happens at Christmas, and like because it covers the whole school
Right.
year, so
Yeah.
it's like okay, this one thing happens, and like again, I think it ties into some of that sentimentality, some of that
Sure.
like warmth and the hope that we talked about.
I
But
think, did any of them come out around Christmas time? I don't know. If
I
they
don't
did
know
or
if they
not.
did, but I
No?
remember that ABC used to do their
Would show
25 Days
them.
of Christmas, and they always showed Harry Potter.
that's
so
true.
before because I didn't watch Harry Potter for the first time until 3 or 4 years ago, and I always had a strong association with Harry Potter and Christmas. I think because of that, my entire childhood they were always playing it. So maybe that's part of the association too. Is just the like culturally, it was kind of
I was thinking somebody told me the other day that White Christmas is it's just a movie that takes place at Christmas. It's not an actual Christmas movie. And I was like, wait a second. And they this was my buddy Luke, shout out Luke, who said that it's a war movie. And I said,
okay. So
What?
maybe
I mean,
maybe saying that Die Hard is a Christmas movie is the same as saying White Christmas is
It's
a
a
war
war
movie.
movie.
You know what I mean?
oh
but
gosh,
I don't know. For me, see, I guess I don't know what makes the biggest difference because what are we calling the Christmassy themes or the Christmassy, like if you take the Christmas out of it? So like, does every Christmas movie have to involve Santa Claus in some aspect, or or maybe from the
Muppet Christmas Carol doesn't.
True.
Yeah, true.
And that's one of the greatest, Christmas Carol is one of the greatest
Yeah.
Christmas movies of all time ever created. So I don't know. I don't know where I would draw that line, but there are plenty of people that have very strong opinions about it. I personally don't. I'm very loose with that. Gremlins, another one, right? That's a Christmas movie.
I have never seen Gremlins.
Okay, well we just
Tori's
got
rolling her eyes.
we just got Michael to watch The Goonies, so now we need to get Michael to watch Gremlins.
Yes, all right, that'll be next. Yep.
That's a good one though. I have not seen Gremlins in a minute, so I'm definitely we should watch that one.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, shall we just go ahead and jump into our first movie? So,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Michael's favorite is Klaus. So, I'm going to give a quick
Yes.
summary. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take turns giving a quick summary of someone else's, and then we're going to have a couple questions for them. And he can just, he's going to talk to us a little bit about why he picked that one, why it's so important to him, etc. So, if you haven't seen Klaus, it's an animated Netflix movie about kind of the origins of Santa in a fictional town where a disgraced postman is sent to like prove himself essentially to his father, who's the postmaster, and
Jasper. the main character.
Jasper, yeah.
Yep, Jasper.
Along the way, he meets a woodsman who makes toys and starts giving them to children, and so Jasper ends up starts off using Klaus kind of to gain favor in his father's eyes, like by sending all these letters, like because he gets these kids to start sending letters to Klaus, and then it turns into such a big thing, and you start to see Jasper's heart change a little bit, and
That redemption aspect.
yeah, there's the redemption aspect, the hope, yeah. And so, yeah, like it's a really good one, and I'd highly recommend it. Even if it's not my favorite, it's up there for me. And that's like, I mean, it's fairly new, like what 2021,
I believe it was
2?
2019.
19. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
One of my favorite aspects of this movie is the fact that it's like this untold story. It feels like it was untouched
Yes, yeah.
territory that you didn't see in any other Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Didn't try to work any of this stuff in there, but it's stuff that's familiar to us, like this idea of writing letters to Santa and getting toys and like kind of some of the lore that is established about Santa Claus in it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels untouched.
I think
in other
yeah,
movies.
most every other Christmas movie, like Santa Claus is just like a known commodity.
Yeah,
and
just
so
a-
they don't really
yes.
discuss it. So now to see that he wasn't a thing and now has become one is interesting for sure.
Yeah, no, that was fun.
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that, Nick. I'm trying to think of, besides the claymation, like Santa Claus is coming to town movie, what other popular movie is there that explores his I literally don't know. I couldn't
Yeah.
even think of one.
No.
Not a lot. I mean, like, Santa Claus does kind of dive into some things, but not
But
in
not
the
the
same
not the
way.
Really,
OG
though.
Santa though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like yeah.
So I really, that's I think why I enjoy it so much. Like, yes,
Yeah.
the overall story and everything, like that's what keeps me coming back to it, and
Yeah.
the way that makes you feel and those warm feelings that we were talking about earlier. But that's what part of the reason that makes it just so a novelty, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, to go along with that, like, there's a little bit of magic in it, or just like some spirituality sort of stuff. But
Sure.
like, it's really fascinating though, because you see a real thing become a myth that's like
Yes.
surrounded by magic. You know,
Yeah.
the fact that like, how does Santa go down the chimney, or like make all these toys, etc. Like, you see the real reasons behind it, and you also get to see through children's eyes how they like extrapolate and make it such a big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well-
the comments are super funny. Like we were watching it the other day and we were cracking up. You know,
Yeah.
we'd seen it and it's one of my favorite movies.
It is
Actually,
very funny.
the second best movie on this list. I will commend you. But yeah, it's when he was like traveling to the town. I mean, just Jesper's comments will just are pretty timeless. And it's
That is-
also it's a very unique movie. You
Yeah.
know, most modern Christmas movies, it's about, we need to do this before Christmas Day, or we need to rescue Santa Claus so he can deliver all the presents for by Christmas Eve. And this one is again just very unique, and I wasn't expecting it, so that initially really drawed me in.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Michael, what about you? Since this is your pick, I know we've all kind of had our say. in it. What makes this movie rise above them all for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, I mean, you guys have already touched on so many of the aspects, why I love it in particular. But yeah, I think going back to like just the originality of the story, like again, just no other movie again that I really know of that explores like the lore and kind of the myth behind Santa Claus to that degree. And it's just so funny to me, like how that myth grew. So the example I'm thinking of when you were just talking, Ben, about the myth is when Jesper and Klaus lose their wheels and the reindeer are carrying the sleigh and they ramp up over that hill.
Yep. And one kid sees
one
it. Yeah.
kid sees them flying, this sleigh with the reindeer that's flying over the town. And it's like that becomes the myth,
Yeah.
And so like again, that's one small example of, how the whole story comes together. But so yeah, I think that aspect of it, and then just Jesper's arc as a character, just from going from this spoiled, rotten brat to like someone who has such a deep like care and has these deep friendships, with Klaus, and obviously Alva is more than a friend. Is just I love that. Like
Yeah.
it very, very well done, very well written character. I mean, you kind of hate him in the beginning, like just like that spoiled brat, but then to see him at the end with his family, and it's so like it's very emotional. I mean,
Yeah.
I've cried every year that I've watched
Yeah.
it.
No,
But-
He reminds me of Cusco. And
That's what we were
Oh my
saying, yeah.
gosh,
we're
yes,
huge
absolutely.
Emperor's New Groove fans.
And Jason Schwartzman and David Spade
They sound
kind of sound similar too.
Yes.
Very like similar
Yes.
character type. Yeah.
Oh man,
And I mean, Klaus is very much Pacha. Like, there's
Yes.
a lot of that
Yes.
same
Oh,
dynamic.
yeah.
Very
like,
similar dynamic. Yeah, absolutely.
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, another question that we had written down is, and you kind of hit on one moment. Are there any other moments from the movie that just, if somebody had never seen it before, you'd want them to see this specific moment? Like you'd want to pull this out and say, "Hey, this is like one of my favorite parts of the movie as a whole."
Yes. So I was going back and forth between two scenes. The first scene is when Jesper and Klaus deliver the little snowboard. I don't really know what you call it. To the little girl. And I'm actually forgetting what her character's name is.
I can't even remember
off
it
the top of my
either.
head. And I don't even know. Maybe she doesn't have like an established
Oh, the
name.
one that doesn't speak any English.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what her name is. I'll have to look it up here in a second. But when they deliver her little like snow, her little snowboard, and oh my gosh, that's so emotional. And they're just watching her from behind the hill, like the joy that it brings her. I would say that one. The second one, which is more of a sequence, but it's the montage of when the townspeople are literally transforming from like mortal enemies into like really close friends. And it's also during that montage you see Alva kind of like beginning to invest more in the kids, and like it'll cut to her taking more out of her savings, every like couple of scenes, to buy more stuff. So I think I couldn't go back. I was going back and forth between those two scenes, but I think, like again, you kind of have to watch the whole movie for either of those to really impact you.
Right.
But still, I think just on their own, they're both very like powerful, sequences. And
I was thinking earlier when you were talking about how like just the kind of some of the themes of the movie, and it's funny how much Jesper, like I think this is a key aspect. Maybe you guys will say that this is very similar to other Christmas movies. I don't know, but the way that it was all an accident for like he didn't set out to kind of like change things, and then it did, and that was part of like I think the magic that comes along with it is like him realizing that the way that I've, even though this is selfish, I have actually impacted the community for good. And once he kind of realizes that, I think that's part of the that montage that you were talking about is when that realization comes to him.
Yeah. So what is it that Klaus keeps saying to him? One single act of like goodwill like
Leads
brings
to
another.
and another.
yeah.
And I mean that's the whole story right there.
It is.
Yeah, like once Jesper starts doing things like especially intentionally to be good, not just like accidentally bringing things, like you really start to see the change happen. And
No, it's a beautiful Christmas movie. I would highly recommend that if you have not watched it. That will pay at least for the month of December. Get your Netflix membership, watch
Free trial.
Free trial if you can.
Just watch it. Watch Klaus, and that'll at least get your money's worth for that 1 month.
especially if you're buying it for Stranger Things, might as well. Well, you've got the membership. Yeah.
Love it. Well, let's jump into our next.
Okay,
movie.
before we do, I want to ask. So, Tori, you're about to introduce Muppet Christmas Carol. So, I would like to just talk to us a little bit about your dislike for the movie.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm rolling my eyes, but I have this thing with puppets, and if you know me, you know I'm a teacher, a preschool teacher, so you would automatically think this lady uses puppets all the time. Well, you're wrong, because they just creep me out.
Are puppets banned from your classroom?
Not banned. I'm okay with the ones that don't have, that you don't need a puppeteer, like the stick and the strings. I'm okay with those, but it's the weird voices, and then they just move, and then. And I've heard that people, can go to college to be a puppeteer, and I'm like, you're literally.
I haven't heard that. I have not heard that.
Never heard?
No, I've not heard.
I mean,
that.
I know there's like clown college, but I haven't heard of Muppet college.
There is. You can specialize in puppeteering, and I just think, what person would go to school to learn how to move a stuffed animal?
If one of our listeners out there, if you have gone to puppet school, send us an email. I would love to hear about it.
I can tell you too, like it is. I mean, think about just we've talked about practical effects and stuff like this on different episodes.
Yeah.
And like I recently saw. I mean, this is completely changing the subject, but going to like Jabba the Hutt. I think there were 4 people that were working Jabba to make him come to life in some way, and so I can understand how like there's a lot of moving parts and aspects.
And I'm sure a lot of it too is like creation of these things too, like the ability to actually make them and make them unique and make designs and characters out of them. Like, yeah. But anyways, so Tori, so why don't you introduce Muppet Christmas Carol? A little bit of a summary.
Well, it's
To be fair, she has not seen this movie either, so we're making her do.
seen-
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Thank you. I said I have seen parts of it when it has been on. I have left the room, but Muppets Christmas. I will try to sound excited. Muppets Christmas Carol follows the frequently done, overdone. I would say Scrooge, journey of. With visiting the ghosts and changing his life, being generous. And there's Gonzo, the one with the big nose, is the narrator or something.
And Charles Dickens.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Charles Dickens. Yep.
Yes. And and then you see like Miss Piggy and Kermit and
As the Cratchits.
yes,
Yeah.
all the people. And then he ends up.
Do you know who plays Scrooge?
No.
The legendary Michael Caine.
Yes.
Now, can I just say, I already gave this trivia point before, but if you say my cocaine in a
We're gonna
British
get marked
accent,
explicit for this.
you're saying, yeah, we are.
Probably.
You're saying Michael Caine as he would say it.
But you gotta say it real deep.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Caine. Hello, my name's Michael Caine. See? It works.
Wonderful.
It works.
Yes.
Not bad.
Thank
well
you.
done.
All right. Let's get into the.
Tori, thank you for being such a good sport.
Yes.
You're welcome.
That was part of the fun. Was I was like, oh man, she does not like the Muppets. We should make her summarize the Muppet Christmas Carol. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's funny.
Man.
Ben, this is your movie.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick it?
Well, as Tori was saying, I know that A Christmas Carol in general is kind of overdone, but it is a pivotal Christmas story. And I think it's one of the things that might like have led to look at all these movies are probably a little bit inspired by Christmas Carol. You've got The Grinch is a extrapolation of Scrooge. You've got all these movies with a moral or like the watching a person change, especially like is one of the first ones to do that. I think like the story does. And so, yeah, like, and you get to see like It's a Wonderful Life definitely takes some influences from this as well. Like just the another worldly being showing you like how if you change your life, how it changes everything around you, etc. And so, like, I mean, it's got all of those plus Muppets.
Plus Muppets.
Sorry, Tori, but some of us find Jim Henson's world and creation to be magical, and so it's a personal thing, and I understand that.
I'll respect. I'm trying to be respectful.
I mean-
I kind of have a subjective opinion.
Yeah. But on top of that, like, I mean, the music is great. There's some really great songs in there. And I mean, again, just seeing, especially growing up with the Muppets, seeing them in this world and in this time of year, like it adds to the Christmas. And like, yeah, it's the same as like watching Peanuts Christmas special, like seeing those characters in this environment and like celebrating Christmas and that sort of thing. Like it's special. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that for sure. And Ben and I have definitely. So I'll just preface this. This is probably the movie on this list of 5 that I'm least familiar with. I've seen it the least amount of time. I know, it's wild, right? But
I'm
Ben and
rubbing off on him.
There's no
Or he's just
Muppets
not
on
allowed
us.
to watch it now. So
I know. Where's the want?
no. There we go.
No, but what I was gonna say was just the fact that Ben and I have definitely had that's part of our relationship has been our love for the Muppets, and when
Especially
we were in
like
college,
what the Jason Segel Muppet
Yes.
movie when that came out,
yeah.
we bonded over that.
yes, we did.
Truly.
That was a fun time.
I do love Jason Segel, so I can. I'll stand by that.
Maybe.
That
Okay.
could be your gateway.
Well, tell me this. I guess I'm asking all the questions.
You are.
Why don't you take the question there, Michael?
Sure. So Ben, what's a moment that you can't get through without tearing up in the Muppet movie?
I mean, just kind of the end, watching Scrooge like truly change and celebrate with everyone, especially with the Cratchit family after he watches, especially what Tiny Tim was going through and everything. And you see that ending of Michael. Do you want to play the clip?
Yeah.
God bless us, everyone.
Yes. And so like Michael Caine surrounded by Muppets sitting at this Christmas table with Tiny Tim sitting on his lap. And it talks about how Gonzo talks about Charles Dickens talks about how like Scrooge became like a second father to Tiny Tim. And again, just like truly seeing that change and like just this summation of the whole movie. And
Dude, I could tear up right now.
Right,
talking
exactly,
About it.
yeah.
It is so so powerful. I mean, he's just this completely isolated, totally alone guy. Like
Intentionally.
no connection, no community to like they're all packed in this little room, you know, and just he's like, oh man, yeah, it is so good. It's sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna throw something out there because I'm sure you guys have probably heard that Michael Caine is thought of being one of the greatest portrayals of Scrooge. Like,
I believe
that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, honestly, that's part of the appeal of the movie for me is they have like a serious actor.
Yes.
You know, because you think, okay, it's a Muppet movie, like, you know, you're gonna get a comedian.
goofy.
Yeah, it's gonna be goofy. And Michael Caine is like a serious character actor,
Yeah.
and he really gives it all. It's in my opinion.
One of my favorite like tweets / memes of all time I've ever seen is the difference between like the two of the best Muppet movies ever. You've got this and Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes.
And the comment is, so Muppet Christmas Carol is so good because Michael Caine treats all the Muppets like fellow actors. Muppet Treasure Island is so good because Tim Curry treats himself like a Muppet.
Yes.
And again, like you got to lean
Wow,
one way or the
that's
other. But
amazing,
again, yeah, Michael Caine goes about it. I keep doing that today. I'm sorry. Michael Caine goes about it so seriously, and just like he takes his role very seriously when it could have been like goofy and stuff like that. And so I think that adds to it as if like it's a real story, and like yeah, that's a lot of fun, but you actually get something from it.
Yeah, there's a magic to it for
Yeah.
sure. Like he's the straight man. I mean, he is the one.
Yeah, he is.
It's humorous because he is so serious, and it's just wild to think about when you
Yeah.
do go back and you watch it, and you just kind of dial in on Michael Caine and just I imagine if there were real people around and this would be like a serious drama and
Yeah.
That brings up a memory of watching it the other day, and watching Michael Caine deliver with a straight face when he's with the Ghost of Christmas Past, deliver with a straight face. That's Mr. Fozziwig's Rubber Chicken Factory. Like again, a serious actor delivering that line.
Yeah.
Just the juxtaposition of that is amazing.
Well, that's actually so. I think we have time for one more question on this. Do you have a memory like associated with this movie, like you know, either from childhood or you know, adulthood?
It's the songs that like I feel like initially stuck with me, like as growing up, and especially after all, there's only one more sleep till Christmas. Just yeah, like thinking of that one every Christmas Eve, and just Kermit walking through the streets, merrily singing it. Just yeah, that one in general. And again, it's one that like I've probably watched about every year of my adult life, and so it's just a special one to me. It's like the one that every year I have to watch, just because it brings all that Christmas joy to me.
Love it.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Well, hey, let's jump to our next
Actually,
movie.
we're gonna take a quick little break.
Let's take a quick little break. Yep.
Snow, 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 snow.
All right, we are back from our break, and we're gonna jump into Nick's favorite movie, which is White Christmas. I'm gonna give a little summary here for if anyone hasn't seen it. So, White Christmas, which came out in 1954. It's a classic holiday musical about two former army buddies. Some say it is a war movie.
Apparently.
Yeah. But now they're successful entertainers. They team up with a pair of sisters to help their old commanding officer save his struggling Vermont inn. So, you know, through romance, music, elaborate song and dance numbers. The gang brings warmth, friendship, and holiday spirit just in time for Christmas. So... Classic movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, Nick, let's jump in here. What does this movie give you that modern Christmas movies can't?
I feel like the musicals don't hit as hard these days. There are things to appreciate in new musicals that have come out recently, but something about just like the Irving Berlin age of the musical theater is so much fun.
The theater.
Yes.
What's happened to the theater?
Do modern actors have the same scope of skill? Like, so Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, I mean, tap dancing, singing, you know, playing instruments, like it's amazing to see. Sorry, keep going.
No. I don't know if that's what makes those movies hit differently or not. But for me, I mean, there's some randomness to it too. When you go and you watch White Christmas, like even all the musical numbers that are in there, I think if they made White Christmas today, it wouldn't be the same. Like they would, like just I don't know, just some of the weird ones. I mean, choreography. I mean, they wouldn't have put that into the movie because they'd be like, this doesn't really add anything to the plot.
It's literally just like we're gonna stop and perform a song in the middle of this, and like you're just
About
gonna be okay with it.
sandwiches,
Like,
you know,
yeah.
like
And so
Is it about sandwiches, Michael?
there is one about sandwiches though, because that's what is that? The one that Bing Crosby
Counting your
sings.
blessings.
Yeah,
It's not
Counting Your
about
Blessings.
sandwiches, though.
Well, okay, while they're eating sandwiches.
Okay.
Fair enough. That
There's
was
a
when he
difference.
sang. You're right.
It's like a Christmas movie. It happens at this time. It doesn't make it about that thing.
Fair enough. I agree. Misspoke. How about that?
Yeah.
No, but I think that's what makes it stand out as being different. It would just because that's one. I don't know if they've ever. Has there been an attempt at a reboot? Like there's been
no,
stage
you can't touch
shows.
it. No.
But have they ever tried to actually reboot?
I have
White
never heard of
Christmas?
one. No.
And the question would be: is if they did, would anybody watch it? I think that they would, but at the same time, I don't know. It would almost be out of spite and hatefulness.
I feel like I would give it a chance, but I would not. It would take an awful lot to overwrite the classic.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would watch it because a lot of people love the original. They would be curious to see how
Exactly.
they did, but I do not think it would be beloved. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way it could be better than the original.
Yep.
Like it's too big, you know.
Okay, interesting question then. Sorry, we're going off book, but like, who even is there who could take the place of Bing Crosby?
Oh man, I don't even know if we're casting
Yeah.
the new White Christmas.
Like, we won't do the whole cast, but just Bing Crosby. Who could play Bob Wallace?
I don't even know. I see now. I feel bad for putting people on the spot when I've asked them how they cast movies because you just asked me that. And I'm like, I should have something in my
No,
mind of
no.
like who would be the person, but
Because the correct answer is you can't replace
Yeah.
Bing Crosby.
you're probably
Ryan
right.
Gosling.
Maybe
not
if-
for me, but
Yeah.
maybe for the ladies. Like I don't know. But who even has? I mean, who are the big singers these days that you think of being? I don't know, just like the really great.
Hugh Jackman?
That was who came to my
yeah.
mind.
He
but I know
couldn't
there's
be
a lot of
Bob
people-
Wallace, though.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't even like Hugh Jackman or
Sure.
his singing.
For one, he's
Yeah.
not
I
a
do.
bass, so I mean,
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe?
Oh no, Michael.
Let's just go through the entire cast of Les Mis from a few years ago.
Okay,
That'd be the-
well,
So let's jump back into White Christmas. Speaking of musical numbers, Nick, I'm just gonna pivot right past that.
Yeah, you need to. You need to.
Okay, Nick, if you could insert yourself into one of these musical numbers, which one would it be?
I think choreography for sure.
Really?
I love it. It's so good. I don't know, just something about the goofiness. I wish I could be as cool as Phil Davis and just like the animated nature of his dance,
Doing his choreography,
yes, doing
yes.
the choreography.
It's a special one.
The way that it starts out, I don't know. Just when I went back and I watched it recently, I'm like, I love this song. It's so random, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I also like the best things happen while you dance. That's a fun
That's a good one,
I'm
yeah.
not as good of a dancer as either of those two, but I wish I was and I could dance to that song. That'd
He
be a
has
good
some
one.
moves.
Well, I was gonna
yeah.
say, I mean, you guys, have you thought about dance lesson? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys could do.
Tori, so I don't know if I've shared this with you guys yet, but we got really into Dancing with the Stars this past
Oh,
year.
nice.
Really? Okay. All
Tori's
right.
always been a fan of
Watching,
dance shows.
Yeah,
What's
like I
his-
just think it's
Irwin.
so. Yes, Robert Irwin.
Robert Irwin. Yeah.
And I always thought, my mom would ask me, "Oh, have you watched Dancing with the Stars?" And I'm like, "No." And I always thought it was just an old person show. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Dancing with the Stars because we really like Robert Irwin. And then there was a lot of other really good people too, and we were into it.
I don't know why it's taken me so long to get into
No.
it because it's a lot of fun. Like,
Well, do you have to become an old person to then?
I was gonna say, are you guys
appreciate
sure
it?
you haven't crossed that threshold?
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
I think I've crossed it a long
It's-
time ago.
I think part of the reason that I love it so much is because of my love for those big musical numbers and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and that's what the show kind of captures. Obviously, you don't have the singing that goes along with it, but the dance numbers, it's just
and
it's
like
a lot
the
of fun.
growth that
Yeah.
you see is
Oh, yeah,
really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, that takes us off of it, but it is related to me. Like, I think that part of the reason that I love Dancing with the Stars so much is because I really have appreciated these big dancing numbers, the musicals, and being involved with them. I've got some good memories from my time in high school theater, and then Ben and I at Mount Vernon being a part of a couple. I don't know if we were in 2 musicals together or not, but definitely the King and I for sure.
Yep. Well, Michael was in that too.
I won an award for that one, actually. I did, yeah. I did. Best accent.
Nice.
I have the plaque. I'm going to bring it in next episode, and we'll
Great.
display it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Michael played the captain at the beginning.
I did.
I had completely forgot about
Because
that.
he was in
Do
one
the voice.
one scene.
You gotta
I
give the viewers what they
I
want.
did my Michael Caine accent a second ago, so that should be example
Oh,
enough.
I thought you were saying that's how you got into character. He was
Yeah.
the ship captain at the beginning
I
of the movie.
completely
Of
He
the
was
show.
in the middle too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, because she
I had
does
a
she
couple
does leave
scenes.
for a while.
I had a couple
or
scenes.
was about to.
Well,
Okay.
let's get off me and get back to White Christmas. So we got a few more minutes here. So, okay, so similar question, Nick, to what you've asked us. Like, what makes this movie rise above the others as a Christmas movie?
As a Christmas movie for me, I think it comes back to that tradition. So I've shouted out my dad a lot on the show. I'm gonna shout out my mom, who I was giving crap to because I told her, I was like, oh, you don't listen to the show, so she might not even hear this shout out. But that's the reason that I love White Christmas is my mom. So I feel safe saying it's her favorite Christmas movie. She would watch it every year while she was wrapping presents and stuff like that. And as a young kid, I don't think I had a huge appreciation for it. But as I got older, I mean, it was the same thing with like Sound of Music. My mom was huge into the Sound of Music and huge into White Christmas and some of these other ones. What was Holiday Inn? I think was another
Holiday
one.
Inn.
Yeah, that was
Which is
another big one.
actually
Yep.
the
Mhm.
first appearance of the White Christmas song.
Yeah,
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep.
But yeah, so she was the one that got me into this movie, and then over the years it became our thing because my sister and my dad didn't want to watch White Christmas, so it was kind of our thing. We
Yeah.
would watch White Christmas when it was just the two of us, and I would appreciate it. So I think that's the tradition of watching it with my mom. Kind of stands out in my mind as being like, why is this one special to me?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the big thing, and then. Overall, kind of like we were talking about earlier, is it the quintessential Christmas movie? No, it's really not for me. But just that memory is what kind of keeps it going in my mind.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
What are your guys' takes on the movie? So I think we talked about order earlier. Let's go to my wife because I'd love to hear her thoughts
Yeah,
on White
let's go to our
Christmas. She hasn't
special
got
guest.
a chance to say much about it. Thoughts on White Christmas?
Well, I actually never watched it until I watched it with you and your mom. And I remember thinking, this is not I wouldn't consider it a Christmas movie. It wasn't very Christmassy. So I was kind of surprised at the plot of the story, but I'm not a big fan of old movies. I don't appreciate them very much. So this is a bottom tier one for me, man.
Wow.
Is this below or above Muppet Christmas? This is
Man, gosh, I would say it's below.
Wow.
I don't know. It just did
Okay.
pull on my heartstrings.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, okay. So,
Okay, hold on. Sorry, it doesn't pull on your heartstrings. So when all the soldiers from the general's army show up at the end and they're honoring him, and he's just
Spoiler
walking down. The movie is 70 years old, man. Like, we don't need to.
fair.
But while, like, you don't get teared up while watching him being recognized by all these people after so long.
That was nice. I will say that was nice.
If I'm being real though, like to me emotionally, this movie is not quite because it's just different from modern movies. You know what I mean?
It is,
So
yeah.
I can understand why somebody might watch it and go like, well, I have a hard time connecting emotionally with it.
Right.
Because like I said, for me, even my love for it doesn't necessarily come from like the emotions that the movie made me feel so much as the memories that it evokes having that tradition. I get, you know,
Yeah,
if
that makes
sense.
perfect sense. That does
No.
make, yeah.
Michael, you're going to say something before I had to ask Tori.
Yes, I'll take up the last 15 seconds with this comment. I get what you're saying about it, like the style of the old movies. Like I grew up watching really old movies because my family was just into it. And so there's kind of a nostalgia factor for me, you know, like those old big production, like 50s and 60s movies. So I can see if you weren't really into that, like in general, then yeah, this movie probably wouldn't, you know, do it for you.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But anyway, let's transition to Tori's movie. Nick, do you want to
Yes.
take that?
Yeah, I'm excited to give the synopsis of this one. Another one that I really love. Tori chose the movie Elf, which follows the story of Buddy the Elf, who finds out after a long time of living in the North Pole that he is not actually an elf, and he's got a father living in New York. Oh my gosh, why did I forget his father's name now?
Walter.
I'm blanking. Walter, thank you. And so
Walter Hobbs.
Walter Hobbs.
Walter Hobbs, yep.
Decides to go down to meet his father for the first time, and Will Ferrell and playing Buddy the Elf, all kinds of shenanigans come from that. So I think it goes on over the course of time. Buddy and Walter initially doesn't believe that Buddy is his son, and there's the whole entire aspect of that. And as we've talked about previously, the change of hearts that occurs over the course of the movie that kind of leads it to an emotional end as well. So, why don't you tell me? So, Tori, you picked this one. What's your reasoning for picking Elf as being your quintessential classic Christmas movie?
I didn't appreciate it, I don't think, when it came out. Because when did it came out? Early 2000s, right? I think.
2003.
Yes. And it's the only movie that I like that Will Ferrell is in. Because I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan. But I just think Buddy himself, the character, is so iconic. I mean, he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. And it's just, again, it's a creative, I like the creative storylines. And I don't know, it's goofy. I'm much more of a comedy person. And, there's sentimental things and parts, but it's layered in a lot of humor, which I think it makes it just a fun, lighthearted Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pack onto that as well. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat, but I initially could not stand the movie Elf.
Really?
I was there too. I think part of it was they just played it so much in the early 2000s.
So that was my dad and my sister's movie that they always wanted to watch was Elf, and I would I didn't want to watch it. I would leave. I was like, this is so dumb. I cannot stand it. And over the course of time, with more viewings and everything else, I really came to appreciate it a lot. I think at the time I was very much a Will Ferrell hater. And then as he was in more things, I don't even know when he won me over. I started watching more of his movies. I did not like Talladega Nights, but by the time Step Brothers came out, I was all in. I was like, Will Ferrell's hilarious.
Yeah.
And everything that he does is funny. And so I went and I after kind of having that appreciation of him, then after I started watching, Elf at the Christmas season, had more of a love for it, I guess. And then learning about some of the behind the scenes things that happened made me appreciate it even more.
What's that thing that we listened to, speaking of the behind the scenes, making in the movie or something?
Yes, The Movies That Made Us. That's a series on Netflix. Have either of you guys watched it?
I've heard of it, haven't watched it.
Same.
Very good. They did do an episode on this, and just a lot of that behind the scenes kind of stuff is discussed about it, and why is this an enduring classic and all that good stuff. There's one about Die Hard, Back to the Future. There's all kinds of good movies that are a part of it. What about you guys? What's your perspective on Elf?
Very much same as you. Like I said, right when it came out, I think it was just because it was on so much that I just got sick of it. But again, it's definitely come around, and it's definitely one that every year I will gladly sit down and watch now. Because initially I was like you, where it was like, I really don't need to see this again. And it's just kind of, I didn't have a problem with Will Ferrell, but just in general, something about it was just I was tired of it. But no, I think it's definitely grown on me. Michael?
I have always loved Elf. I was 12 or 13 when this came out, and so I don't think I really even knew Will Ferrell as an actor necessarily quite yet. But I immediately fell in love with it. I think we've watched it every year since it came out, I'm pretty sure. And we bought it on DVD. I bought it on DVD with my own money.
Yeah.
I still have the DVD.
There you go.
And so we used to watch it every year, and it is definitely very lighthearted. I feel like it's funny because when I'm thinking in relation to Klaus, for example, Klaus is an animated, colorful movie, but it's kind of heavy in a sense, especially dealing with Klaus's, loss and his grief. But Elf, it's extremely lighthearted, but it does still have that kind of, especially at the end, that emotional payoff where there is some depth there. But
it's very funny, but you're right. By the end, there's an emotional connection, and you feel it. You really do. It hits you, and you're like, oh man, this is beautiful.
It is.
There's something about it.
And someone recently, I never thought of Elf like this before, but someone described Buddy as neurodivergent.
Oh yeah,
and
really? I've never heard that.
And I've and it clicked, and it's man, it's society accepting, and how can this person, we're not trying to change Buddy, we're trying to help Buddy, be successful where he is. And I don't know. that was a very creative way of
Interesting.
thinking
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, you said that Buddy the Elf is iconic. What makes him iconic in your mind?
it. I mean, he can look at a very like serious situation and just say something funny. It's like when he gets a job, when he's in his suit and he goes down to the mailroom, and it's a very like dark and gloomy place, and when he says, I mean, I'm misquoting this, but he said, this is like Santa's workshop, except for every it smells like mushrooms, and everybody hates me or
Yeah,
something.
everybody looks like they want to hurt me.
Yes, yeah, everyone to hurt me. And it's just, I mean, just his lightheartedness on life and just little things that we take
The
for
joy,
granted.
for
Yes.
Well, that's a perfect example, because by the end of his time in the mailroom, he has the whole place like dancing and partying.
Yeah.
He like spreads that joy,
He's the embodiment of Christmas cheer.
Yeah, that's a
Because,
perfect
like,
way to say it.
You even look at I was just thinking about this. Like you even look at the beginning when he's with the elves, and even amongst them, he has way more like Christmas cheer and just joy and his heart's full of hope, like compared to everyone else.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of Christmas cheer,
Best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Which is a good segue. So Tori, what do you think? What joke or line still makes you laugh to this day?
You're probably not suspecting this, but the thing that always just cracks me up is when he's comes to New York for the first time, and and he's running around the streets, and when we watch the movies that made us, it's said that they only had like a very short amount of time to do this, and Buddy just literally, like, Will Ferrell just made stuff up. And my favorite part is when he's walking by that guy in the red jumpsuit and the beard,
Yes.
and he's like, Santa, oh, never mind. And that guy, that was not planned. And that just cracks me
Yeah.
up. Like, it's so random. It's so funny.
Yeah. There's a different thing every time that gets me. I watched a couple weeks ago, and for me it was when he takes Zooey Deschanel's character on a date, and he's like, close your eyes, I'll taste this. It tastes like a crappy cup of coffee. He's like, no, it's the best cup of coffee in the world. Again, just the callback. And,
what I love about Buddy is his sincerity.
Yeah.
Like he is
Yes.
so sincere in those moments where he like really believes that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
that's
passionate.
Yeah, so passionate. That's a great example, Ben.
I was surprised because the moment that I thought you were going to say was as Buddy the Elf is leaving the
Oh,
North Pole.
yeah.
And then the narwhal pops up.
yeah.
Bye, buddy.
Hope you find your dad. We used to say that all the time. Like me
Yeah,
and my
we did
friends
too.
would.
We did too.
That is
all
a
the time.
classic. Or, oh man, what about the with the Santa Claus? The fake Santa
You
Claus?
sit on a throne of wise.
Yeah. Yep. Plus, shout out to Peter Dinklage in it.
Yes.
One scene, but amazing.
Call me Elf one more time.
Well, so okay, speaking of Peter Dinklage, so James Caan, who plays Walter Hobbs,
Yep.
kind of a similar idea to when we were talking about the Muppet movie. Is he's a really serious character actor?
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
And he's one of several straight men in this movie. But again, him being like a really serious actor, taking it seriously, like, and kind of contrast that to Buddy and Will Ferrell's character. I mean, it's amazing. Like, and that's part of what makes it so good is like he's not being goofy and not taking it seriously. Like, he's very serious. But
They're
I love James
foil
Caan.
to each other.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah, but James Caan is he's one of my favorite actors. But all right, we have 30 seconds left. Do you want to do one more question, Nick?
Sure, yeah. Is Elf secretly a rom-com? I don't know if this is a secret or not. What do you think?
No,
It's not?
because the main focus of the movie is Buddy and his relationship with his dad and how he regains that. And I love Zoe Deschanel, but that's just a fun side.
Interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I think I would have gone the other way. I'd say, you know what, there are a lot of
Interesting.
rom-com aspects of it, but when I get what you're saying. The main, it is more of a B story.
Like
It
he
is,
he
yes.
went to New York to find his
Right.
dad.
Not to find love.
True.
Again, could have taken the romantic element out of the movie, and I think it would have still functioned
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So I guess you could say that. So it's not. So I guess, are you guys on that same boat then? The rom-com, it's not.
I don't think so.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna agree with Tori. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take us into our final movie, which was the listener pick. and the listeners all chimed in and gave us their perspective, and ultimately we landed on the Grinch. And part of the reason I think that happened, I was telling the guys, not everybody specified, because there's been a few different versions of the Grinch, what theirs was. The one that came up, I think, most frequently was the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
But I think there were at least one or two people that just put on like the classic Grinch, which I haven't seen in quite some time. And I don't know if anybody is, I don't know who I did. Part of this was my students. So I don't know if any of them were thinking about the animated one that just came out in whenever it was, 2018, 2019. So anyways, that's the movie, The Grinch. Anybody want to set us up with a quick summary? Synopsis?
Yeah, I can. I'm just gonna off the top of my head. I didn't chat GPT this summary, so
Good for you.
yeah. So Grinch, yeah, he's kind of a misfit who's dropped off in Whoville, and you know, he is angry at the townspeople, has a lot of resentment towards them because, you know, they made fun of him as a kid. So he goes up to live because he's green. He goes up to live in the mountainside, and he over time just continually hates Christmas, and, you know, hates the Who's of Whoville. But then, yeah, meets one of the Whovillians, and from there kind of begins his journey to loving Christmas again. So
The Whovillians. That's, I think, the first time
I think
I've
they're
heard.
just the Who's, aren't
But I
they?
do
Yeah.
know-
just the Who's, yeah, just the Who's.
I want to refer to them as Whovillians.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
man.
as we're looking at this movie, so when you guys think about The Grinch, what's the one that comes to your mind? Is it
The Jim Carrey
Jim
one.
Carrey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
I would agree. I mean, and it's, I think, a sign of the age that we're all
Could be,
among the
could be.
same
Yeah.
age that that's the one that comes to mind immediately. And I can remember watching that when it first came out in theaters and everything. So that's a good one, man. Like, gosh, Jim Carrey, such a great character actor.
I
And-
grew up on Jim Carrey movies.
Yes.
Like,
Was this version of the Grinch written with Jim Carrey in mind?
so I was doing
I saw that.
I was
recently.
doing some research on this. It was okay. So I'm blanking on her name. Theodore Geisel's wife had rights to the movie that like everyone wanted, and she decided to finally auction them off. But she wanted say on who would be the Grinch. She wanted someone like Jim Carrey. And
Okay,
they got
gotcha.
Jim Carrey.
Oh.
I will say I did learn this time that Jack Nicholson was reading for it at one point, which would have been a very different movie.
Interesting.
Also, Tim Burton was originally asked to direct, but he had a scheduling conflict. And actually,
Wow.
hot take maybe, I'm glad.
To me, like there's parts of this movie that feels a little bit Tim Burton-y,
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, just like the
Definitely.
whimsical nature of it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think that Ron Howard did an amazing job. And like, I don't think it would have been a Christmas classic as much if Tim Burton did it. Personal take.
That's
But
fair.
yeah.
I got to think about that. Yeah, because it definitely would have had a darker. It still would have been funny and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but like a darker, edgier tone almost. I don't know.
Jim Carrey just in this entire movie is hysterical. I have heard, this is another one where I've heard parts of the lore behind it and the creation, because there's been a lot done over the years about it. But Jim Carrey's kind of known for being somebody that does a lot of ad-libbing, and there's a lot of that within this movie as well.
Really? Okay, cool.
I know. So the one thing that pops into my mind right away was the scene where he's talking to Max and trying to get him into character. And the story behind the scene was that he was kind of like Jim Carrey was goofing off and trying to act like Ron Howard.
Yep. That's why he went and grabs the hat and
Yeah.
puts the hat on.
Oh,
That's Ron
that's
Howard's thing.
amazing.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, Ron Howard said, "All right, we got to film this and actually put it into the movie," and they did. And so that's
Yeah.
just part of that's just the improv that Jim Carrey is known for. You don't know what you're gonna get with him in the script.
My favorite is though where he's like trying to figure out what he's gonna wear,
Oh,
and he goes and
yes.
grabs the tablecloth. That was not supposed to be as
Yes.
clean as
Yes.
it was,
Right.
and so yeah, they asked him to like just go knock it all over, and
Yes.
just again like
That is hilarious. I do love that.
Jim
part.
Carrey just being better at things than he should be.
Yeah.
But have you guys watched the new one?
I've not. No,
I know. I haven't.
I was pleasantly surprised
Okay.
because they took, you know, the original premise, you know, of like the Grinch hating Christmas and isolating himself, but they you know put enough of a little twist on it that like I enjoyed it. You know,
Yeah.
I was again, like I said, pleasantly surprised.
It's worth watching for sure. Yeah, you guys need to watch it because just some of the it is not quite. To me, I think the emotional appeal of it hits even a little bit more in the animated version because I think the comedy takes the front in Jim Carrey.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he's Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Just so over the
He
top.
can't not be the focal point.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
And even kind of similar to Buddy the Elf, but not because Buddy the Elf, I think, like we talked about, just the way that his personality is and his infectious hope and fun.
It's very sincere.
Yes. Whereas the Grinch is kind of the opposite of that. So that doesn't come through as much, like that emotional appeal. But in this version with Benedict Cumberbatch, you see a little bit more of peeling back the layers of the Grinch and getting some of that emotion behind it. And so I think that's part of the reason that I think there's a lot of people that would say, hey, that version, not any good. But this, I think that it hits the emotions a little bit more than the live action version.
Wow, I need to watch it.
And with the girl, the main character, she's trying to do something for her mom. Not to give away too many spoilers, but I just think that's really refreshing. As we're trying to bring up the next generation of, it's not all about stuff. Christmas isn't about that, and so I just think that's like really nice to see.
Yeah. That makes sense. I did want to make a quick note. So this Jim Carrey's version of The Grinch is actually called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's like the official title, which I didn't know until just now.
Gotcha.
But,
is that not what the other? That's what the animated version's called too, right?
I'll look it up.
I don't know. I thought they were all called the same, but I could be wrong.
I think the book and like the original animated is called that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyways, any other thoughts that you guys have on the Grinch specifically?
The Grinch is very quotable.
Yes,
when we were
that's for
looking
sure.
up sound bites, which I should play a couple of these.
Holiday Hoobie, what
Merry Christmas, one and all!
Just the Jim Carrey performance, man.
Well, we were when we were looking up sound bites for this, the three of us were quoting everything. I mean, and it is so quotable, and like again, that just goes back to that speaks to Jim Carrey's ability to just like be so over the top and memorable. I mean, obviously, we watched this as kids, and we continue to, but extremely quotable.
Yeah, we were talking about the original script. Like, I would love to see the original script versus what Jim Carrey said, and just see exactly what he came up with.
Yes.
Because, I know one of the things that we talked about was the scene where he's coming up with why he can't go, like his schedule for the evening, his schedule. And just I'm pretty sure that was 99% improv.
Probably.
That just knowing him and that scene. But
that definitely makes the movie. Any closing thoughts on the Grinch?
Oh gosh, I grew up as a little kid watching the animated version, and I always, enjoyed that. And then I didn't appreciate, I feel like this is with all movies, like I didn't appreciate how funny it was until I was older. And just, I don't know, just like the connection that I would make with it, and then now with the new one, so he's an icon, and the Grinch himself, and our kids have the Grinch Tony to put on their Tony box, and so they were listening to it yesterday, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a story that is carried on in different ways through generations.
I think this might be the kids' favorite Christmas movie
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's fun.
I just showed it to them, and they were they had a lot of fun with it. And now they'll point it out every time they see the Grinch. So it's
nice.
That's part of the fun. That's one of the first ones that I can. Oh, what didn't come up in this? I forgot, because this is another thing that Tori does not like. How do you guys feel about claymations?
Oh
Yeah, I love claymation. I love the
Michael.
claymation movie, like the old claymation Christmas movies. I grew up watching them,
Yeah.
so there's the nostalgia factor, and
It's been so long for me. Like, I kind of want to go back and rewatch them just because that has not been one that has survived that I watch every single year.
Yeah.
But I do have that nostalgia for them because, kind of like you said, those were the ones,
Especially the Rudolph one.
yeah, when we
Rudolph,
didn't have cable for, I would say, a big chunk of my childhood. And so what did we watch? Well, what was on kind of like the basic channels, like the ABC, that, the 25 Days of Christmas. And those were obviously the big movies that they came on over and over again. So that was a good one that we continuously kept on coming back to. So I have a place in my heart for them. Tori does not have a place for the
Ben,
Claymations.
I'm sure I can answer this. I'm sure you love them.
I do.
I know you do. I know. I can feel the vibe.
Yeah.
I know you. I've known you for a while.
I'm just going through like some honorable mentions at this point.
Yeah.
The other one that I was very surprised didn't come up, and we kind of mentioned this off air, but A Christmas Story did not come up very much in the favorites, and I know that is such a classic that many people watch every single year. Any thoughts on those?
I watched it for the first time this year. My wife and
crazy.
I at my in-laws, we watched it, and I will say I probably needed to watch it as a kid to appreciate it, because now as an adult, like it's funny. There's a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
But just the kind of irreverent, I don't know, style. It was fun.
I think it encapsulated growing up in your like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I
And
think
so-
for that generation,
yeah.
it probably really captured. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah.
Last honorable mention that I was just thinking of that I was surprised that Tori actually didn't pick this one because
I think I know what you're going to
yeah,
say.
well, you know,
At the same time, 1, 2, 3.
Christmas Vacation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which I
Another
still
classic.
have not seen. Have not seen that one yet.
Oh,
I
movie night.
I know, seriously.
I had never watched it until Tori and I don't know if we were dating or married at the point that I finally watched it for the first time. But that was always her family's thing, and they would quote it. So it's a favorite of the Williams clan for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Tori made me watch it at one point. And I sat down and I was like, you know what? It was kind of like one of those things that it had to grow on me over time. The first time I watched it, it's kind of like, it's not that great. You got to be in on the joke a little bit, because that's what it was for them. It was like, they've seen it multiple times and would quote it or whatever. And so I wasn't necessarily as in on I've seen this a bunch. You know, we watched it together with my family or whatever. And so once I finally did watch it for the first time, it was like, all right, whatever. Like judging it just from a movie perspective, I didn't love it, but the goofiness of it upon further viewings is a lot of fun.
And if Cousin Eddie wasn't in it, he makes the movie, man. And
True.
One of my quotes, I mean, I feel like I say this to you all the time, like going to the store, pick yourself out something real nice. Like, but he says it. Just
That's
funny.
so funny. I want to give an honorable mention. My wife and I are watching the original Miracle on 34th Street
Yes.
right now. It's so emotional for me.
Yeah,
It's an
it's a good
amazing movie. It's when Santa Claus speaks in Dutch to the little girl that just came over to New York City. Oh man, the tears were flowing.
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Yeah, Home
That's
Alone.
up
I
there
haven't talked
too.
about that.
I love the Home Alones. I like the second one, I think, better than the first one.
I said the same thing.
Well, actually, so this is a perfect segue. We're going to do like a quick, and we're obviously about to run out of time, but we're going to talk about best Christmas soundtracks. Mine was going to be Home Alone 2.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
surprising
John
pick, but
Williams.
I mean, John Williams, again, you can't go wrong with him.
John Williams, his particularly Christmas Star by John Williams from the Home Alone 2 soundtrack it's my favorite Christmas song for sure, but then even just in general in terms of music, it's up there for me. Like maybe in my top 10, I think. So
I think soundtracks that like stand out in my mind as having that Christmassy, like if we're going just based off of movies,
Yeah.
excuse me, definitely Polar Express. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
music
Yeah.
from that is very
yeah.
very Christmassy, and like if you just were to put it on the background, it's very got that vibe that you're gonna feel like it's just the joyfulness of it and put you in that Christmassy mood. But if we were going for like different, I mean, we're not really talking music, but that would obviously be a lot different if we're talking about the who's got best Christmas albums and stuff like that. That'd be a different
that's
conversation.
different, right?
Ben, did you have any thoughts on best soundtrack?
I think White Christmas is up there for me.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about anything else that like that, and like I mean, I don't put on Muppet Christmas Carol, but in terms of just soundtrack, but
Yeah.
again, the songs, I love the songs. So yeah.
Spirited, which I know probably would be your
Spirit's up there, which
Yeah.
again, like that honorable mention for me, like as a new classic, that's one that I watch every year now. Which, if you guys haven't seen, again, Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
plus Ryan Reynolds. So
I
can't go wrong.
tried. Tori wasn't a huge fan.
Okay.
I did try to make her watch that one with me, and she watched a portion.
You jogged my memory there, because I was like, I think I've seen that.
Part of it.
Part
I
of
think.
it.
Yeah.
No,
That
I
was-
think it was good, but then I fell asleep, and then which is a common occurrence in our house.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, get onto YouTube and just look at Nick's face. His,
Well,
his
again,
eyes
and
rolling in the back of his head.
and Tori's reactions to all the Muppet claymation stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Next lightning round question, which I was thinking about: best movie Santa.
I mean,
For me, oh, go on.
no, I was just gonna say. I mean, for me, I think I have to say Tim Allen because I loved the Santa Claus growing up.
I think that's a good choice. That's what I was initially thinking, but then I was remembering the new Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
With Richard Attenborough, I believe.
Yes.
Who's like
Very good.
I think
Santa.
he's a really good Santa.
I will say Marty from Christmas with the Cranks is.
Oh, I love Christmas
He's-
with the Cranks.
He's so humble and unassuming, and just
that's
he
an
has
obscure one.
he has such
Yeah.
a kind
Yeah.
spirit. And I would imagine Santa Claus would be that way.
Yeah.
You know, humble, kind, like so like wanting to invest in other people. And Marty is like exactly that, you know. So I don't know. Just
Tori loves Christmas with the Cranks too.
yes,
That's
I
Oh.
do too. It's
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that movie. Yep.
Mine is very obscure. So the new, I forget what streaming service it's on, but it's the Santa Claus, like the series. Have you guys watched that?
No.
No, I don't think I've heard
It's
of
the
it.
Santa that's in there.
Okay.
Okay.
the one that they made based off of.
Yes.
Yeah,
Santa
yeah.
Claus
Yes.
movies.
I remember hearing about
Remember
it. I
that
think
one
it came out
very
like
well.
last year or 2
Yes,
years ago.
I thought
like
he was a
recently.
really good Santa.
I have to
Hmm.
look.
Now I'm trying to remember who you're talking about there. It's not the Tim Allen version, but a different
I
version.
think it's
from-
based on the Tim Allen movies, but it's
Huh.
like a series.
Well, Tim Allen was in the.
No, wait, he is the Santa. So
Yeah.
maybe no.
Yes,
So maybe I am thinking of
he
Tim
is in
Allen.
the series.
Okay.
I don't know. There
I
are,
don't
but there
know.
are multiple Santas in the.
Yeah. So yes, maybe because there's multiple. That shows the timeline of Santa.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
goes
I need
where
to
it
watch
does,
that.
so-
Yeah,
it's interesting.
was
because I
fun.
love the Santa Claus
Yeah.
movies. So I
They
need
were
to
pretty
watch
good.
it.
It's it's goofy. I mean, if very campy.
Yeah, yeah.
But especially, they put it out there for the people that loved the Santa Claus movies.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
those,
right.
as more of them came out by the third one. It was kind of like, oh, okay, this is a bit goofy, but very much I did watch each of them as they came out for sure. Yeah. What's our last one? Do we have time for one more? You think?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. What do you think are movies? So this is kind of going back to our first opener here. What are movies that should be considered Christmas movies? And I'm going with Gremlins for sure. Like that's
Oh, that's good.
Tori's face.
I don't know. I did think of a movie that had a Christmas scene, which was Mean Girls when they did
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dance.
yeah.
But
That's so
that's.
funny.
I mean, I don't think of that as a Christmas movie, so I guess I don't have an answer.
I'm gonna say The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe should be a
Ooh.
Christmas movie.
Ooh,
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, there's some aspects of
Yeah.
Christmassy things there for sure.
But do they
Yeah.
ever explicitly mention Christmas?
They do. Father
Yeah.
Father Christmas
Oh, you're right.
is
Yeah.
trying
okay.
to.
He
It's the
helps
first time in
You're
like
right.
100 years that he's able to pass out presents.
Yeah,
and-
you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
Anything-
can't think of anything
No?
initially. No. I mean, I can think of the opposite, which is what which is what
Yeah.
I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
What's
But,
the
yeah.
opposite then? These are movies that you say that people say are Christmas
Yeah,
movies. but
like,
you're like,
we've
no.
mentioned a lot of them. Like again, like
Holiday,
I will
Die
be
Hard.
a not a diehard like Christmas movie person, but
that surprises me.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't like the movie. I just don't think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
fair
Two
enough.
different
Oh
things.
yeah, I mean, because I think you guys always have the same opinions. Like if Nick thinks that you think it.
That's a good.
I love Die Hard a lot, and to me, there was a time where I was watching it every year around Christmas, and there is something to be said for like I don't know,
And,
it's
well,
fun.
Going back to our original discussion, maybe that's part of what makes things a Christmas movie. Is if it's part of your tradition to watch it around this time of year, then maybe it is a Christmas movie to you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it to a close. I want to say a big thank you to my wife for
Yeah.
taking
yeah. Thank you, Tori.
Thank you so much.
I'm not a professional podcaster.
I did drive her here, so she didn't, like she couldn't have escaped. So I put her in the car. But no, we appreciate you coming and being a part of our discussion on Christmas movies, and for being a listener, for
Thank you.
watching and listening to our episodes. So thanks for being such a great sport.
Out of
on
my
all
own
this.
will, because a lot of times I listen
True.
to it on when you're editing things on your MacBook, but
Yeah.
I have listened many times. You
She
know,
did.
And
as a-
I'm sure we're talking about a lot of the things that you don't normally like to talk or listen
Yeah,
about.
that
yes,
you-
and it's brought in, and I have a very closed off. I have like horrible opinions on things. I mean, I know I do, and I mean, but it's made me appreciate things that I once thought were just weird, But it was like I didn't expect to listen to Lord of the Rings or the Dungeons and Dragons episode that I always make fun of him for playing.
I don't think that you guys realize how big that is too.
Yes.
No,
wow,
that is
that's
like,
amazing. Yeah.
her taking the time to listen to that out of her own free will is kind of surprising.
You know
to
what?
me,
That just
so.
shows how much I love you.
Tori, would you say your heart grew 3 sizes?
Yes. Towards
Yes.
nerd culture.
Maybe one. Let's not.
Yeah,
go
one
that-
size.
let's
All right,
not
I'll
go
take
that
it. We'll take
far.
it.
But
Yeah, good enough.
She's not going to be playing anytime
I know,
soon.
yeah.
Oh no, no.
Or partaking in Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
but
No.
she at least
Okay.
listened to us talk about
Yeah,
it and
I
appreciated it.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, let's
man.
preview. What are we up to next, Michael? What's our next?
Yeah,
episode gonna
I
be about?
am so excited. So next episode, we're going to be going back to one of our favorites, Star Wars, and we're going to talk about the prequels.
Yes.
So movies that came out in the early 2000s, pre A New Hope, and I have a tremendous love for these movies. I grew up watching. I mean, this is I was 10, 10 through 14, when these came out. So I'm excited for that.
Yes, for sure. We decided to come back and revisit Star Wars specifically because we have now been at this podcast for 6 months. We've got that deserves celebration for sure. No, I've been enjoying it so much, and it's so I've been waiting to go back to the world of Star Wars, and talk with you guys about it some
We
more.
can call it the Starverse.
The
That's
Starverse. But yeah, no, I'm so excited, and I hope that you guys just enjoy the rest of this Christmas season, and including our listeners. Just go and watch those Christmas movies. Start new traditions, things like that. That's what's going to make the memories and wanting to come back to watch these movies over and over again just that much more special. So we thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds good.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Fandom of Fandoms. If you had fun, be sure to follow us at FOF.pod on Instagram and Threads, and at Fandom of Fandoms on YouTube. Make sure to leave a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps new fans find the show. Lastly, if you've got a fandom you want us to cover, shoot us an email at fandomofpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, keep being passionate, keep being curious, and keep being a fan.